At the heart of every person, at the heart of every faith tradition, we find oneness. We find unity, the mystical connection between us and our divine source, without exception. There is one, only one life, and the quieter we get, and the more we move away from the uproar that we experience out there sometimes, the more we remember who we are and who everybody else is. Tuesday night, some of us attended the Islamic Center in Devon's breaking of the Ramadan fast. They invite us each year, and it's a beautiful occasion. It's an opportunity to get to the heart of what people truly believe and to honor and respect the practices and how they live and honor God in their own particular faith tradition. We do things with them. They sometimes come to, some of them, to our winter solstice. We attend lots of mutual ministerial activities where everybody is there with Jews and Muslims and Christians and religious scientists. All of us opening our hearts to one another, understanding that we are all one. And it was beautiful on Tuesday night. Very erudite presenters explaining and reminding us that we have so much in common, more in common than in differences. Then we all, those who choose to, go upstairs and we pray. And we, women, have the choice. Doesn't matter to them whether we do or not, but we have the choice of wearing a headscarf, which we choose to do out of respect. Go up with prayers, and that's absolutely wonderful. And then we come downstairs again to the most wonderful feast. You know, it's interesting that Jews and Arabs eat basically the same food. And people who aren't either one love it too. And so we share, we sit down. When people break bread together, or pita, or whatever it is, we open our hearts to each other, we enjoy the food, we hear a beautiful conversation, and we get to know each other on a deeper level. This has been a week of unity and deepening understanding, because yesterday, quite a few of us attended the Baptist Church in Devon, which is right across the street from the Islamic Center, which is right next door to the Jewish synagogue. How do you like that? It's like the Fertile Crescent all over again, where all these religions were born to begin with. And it's right here in Devon. And so we attended the Great Valley Baptist Church, and they were presenting the most wonderful two-person play. It was a Muslim man and a Jewish woman, each of them fabulous storytellers. And wasn't it, those of you who were here, how was it? It was excellent. It was fabulous. It was heart-opening. It had helped us understand, as these two have come to do their own individual interfaith work, they came together and they present this two-person show which brings tears and brings laughter and brings understanding, brings appreciation and brings joy. So this has been a wonderful work. They've touched, each of them have touched this place of deep love and deep wisdom, and they're living and teaching it to the world. So I want to begin with a quote from Browning's Paracelsus that I ended last week's talk with. Truth is within ourselves. It takes no rise from outward things, whate'er you may believe. There is an inmost center in us all where truth abides in fullness. And to know rather consists in opening out a way whence the imprisoned splendor may escape, than attempting to effect entry for a light supposed to be without. we are remembering that the light is within us. We are returning to that place of sacred silence. And this whole month from the Centers for Spiritual Living theme is about spiritual wisdom and how to follow it. So today we're talking about first, inquire within. First, not eventually. Not, oh well, I should have asked within earlier. Look at the strange little byways I've taken. First, inquire within. Ernest Holmes says, we should turn within and find God, and we should have a sense of a real presence when we do turn to the one and only presence in the entire universe. Seems like the last place we tend to look for guidance is the one where we should begin. Well, I'll ask a few of my neighbors. Well, I'll call everyone I know and take a popularity poll. And you're going to get as many different answers as people with whom you've spoken, right? So why do that? Albert Einstein said, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Oh, I love our fine intellects. I think they're just wonderful. They're the instruments through which divine wisdom may express. The instruments through which spirit may express. But the gift, the greater gift, the sacred gift, is the intuitive mind, or the heart. And we've known for years that there's usually about an 18-inch journey where we receive the information about how the presence is with us always, how the law works for us accurately and dependably and constantly. But somehow all of that needs to travel that 18-inch journey down to the heart, where ultimately we understand. And as we understand it, we live from that place, that holy, holy place of understanding that we are constantly being nurtured, always being guided, if only we'll just shut up and listen. Because we get so busy trying to tell God what to do. Now, it's true that we speak our intention to the law, but we're not telling God what to do. We're simply opening up our hearts to that creative intention, that intuitive knowing, where Spirit is saying, my beloved, this is for your highest good. And we set that intention, and we let the wonderful law of mind fulfill it. So we want to start by asking Spirit within our hearts for guidance and direction right away. You've heard of this fellow named Steve Jobs, right? He said, don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most importantly, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is secondary. Someone will say to you, maybe a close friend or relative, oh, don't you think that at this point in your life you ought to be doing this? Thank you for sharing. Now let's move more deeply into where the answers, the true answers, really are. It doesn't matter at which stage in your life this is. It's something that's a practice we wish to do every day, every year, all the time. And we're doing it more and more. We're moving into that sacred space of living from our authentic self. But we can't do it unless we take the time to breathe deeply, open our hearts and listen and hear, not with these ears, but the ear of the heart. Is this mine to do? If it is, all the power in the universe is ready to support me in doing it. I have a great dream. I'm ready to have that dream fulfilled. You know, it's wonderful to have dreams, to build them in the sky, but then we want to put legs under them. We want them to walk with us into a new expression of aliveness. How alive are you feeling today? See? I'm alive, I'm ageless, This is just the beginning of something new and wonderful that each one of us is ready to bring into our lives. In our own personal lives, yes. In this beloved community, even better. And then on out into the greater community, into the world. We're here very much on purpose. And every time we make a difference in our own lives, we're doing something good for all of humanity. Because there is both the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind of the infinite and the subconscious mind of the infinite. We replicate that. We utilize that mind. Every time we think, we are thinking with our conscious mind, which is some part of the conscious mind of the infinite. And when we receive the impress of that thought on our subconscious aspect of mind, it is received in the entire subjective mind of the universe. And this is where we are all connected. Sometimes we know something about someone else before they ever tell us, right? Sometimes we feel some memory, or we start thinking about a person we've not talked to in a long time, and the phone rings and guess who it is. We are all connected on this level. There's nothing strange about it. It's beautiful, beautiful. But on that deep connection, we are also privy to all of the false beliefs as well as the beautiful awarenesses of all of humankind. And on that level, we have an opportunity not to let in the things that are not true and not beautiful and not assisting us in living our lives beautifully. We also have the choice of making a difference by sending our beautiful awarenesses, letting our truth be revealed and received by that subconscious mind of all of humanity. I know which way I want to go. How about you? I don't want to be receiving on a subconscious level those frightening, upsetting ideas and experiences that people begin to go down the rabbit hole with. No rabbit holes here. We filled them all up. We can't go there anymore. We hold each other tenderly when we begin to experience these challenges. And is there anyone here who's never had a personal challenge? Go ahead and raise your hand. See? I didn't put mine up either. And some of them maybe right now? Yes. That's part of our spiritual growth. That's how we develop our consciousness, by recognizing that there is a power greater than we are, a power for good. It's right where we are, and it's been given to us as a sacred gift to use. We want to use it for ourselves and with one another, with the practitioner, with each other. You know, all of us who utilize the tools that are in our beautiful kit right here, our spiritual practices, all of us are spiritual mind practitioners. You don't have to have a license to practice this. You have to have a license to be professional. But all of us use it every day when we decide to do so. And the best way I know how to do that is to turn within often, 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 meditate, contemplate. Ernest Holmes suggested that we practice the presence, which is just opening our hearts to the flow of infinite love, feeling the presence of God, and then to court the presence, practice the presence, that's also true. Court the presence, and then direct the law. As we become aware of our unity with this divine mind and heart, as we feel ourselves filling up with joy and the peace and the power and the confidence, that is the time to set our intention and to speak our word of truth in the area of wholeness, in mind and body, emotion, in the area of relationships, of loving experiences, in the area of abundance, so that all of our needs are met and then some, and in the area of creative expression, so that we're loving what we're doing and making a difference by giving our gifts to the world. So it is this real presence that we can trust. It's the inner knower that reveals the truth. And this sacred space is always, always available. which is why we want to inquire within a lot. The practitioners, they followed their inner knower in taking class after class after class after class, right? Something in you was spurring you to continue on. Like the students now taking classes, and we just finished the Shortcut to a Miracle last week. They're not going to stop right now. I understand that they're going back and reading the book all over again, putting it into practice even more. And then there'll be more classes starting in the fall, and we'll have wonderful things happening over the summer too. We are always in the process, and it just makes good sense to allow ourselves to be with like-minded people who are looking to move forward and expand their consciousness and learn how to use these tools and help each other and support each other while we're doing it. But the practitioners followed. You followed your heart. You listened, and they still follow meditation. It's a very important practice for all of us, and particularly for someone who is doing the work of the Lord. That's what they're doing. So this is an example of trusting that inner knower and following what it says to do. I listened to my inner knower when I was invited to come up here 3.5 years ago. 3.5 years ago I've since been here, but invited just before that. I didn't call my people. I didn't write to Dear Abby. I didn't ask Dr. Phil a thing. I took my time and listened. And it was a full-bodied yes. It still is. When it's right, it's right. And I continue to say yes to this beloved community because it's right and it's good. I'm about to, sweetheart. So excited. She's so excited. So Wednesday night, my beloved Reverend Mike said, let's go someplace nice for dinner. I said, okay. He said, let's go play someplace romantic. I said, okay. So we went to our favorite Paramore restaurant in Wayne Hotel. And he'd been kind of asking this question for a while. And And I was kind of suggesting maybe, but there was no real question. Well, yeah, there was, but that's another story. Wednesday night, they made us the most beautiful, I mean beautiful, not only delicious, but gorgeous vegan meal. We should have been taking pictures. We didn't, but we'll have to make them again, have it made again for us sometime. It was exquisite. Everything was beautiful. And then he reached into his pocket. And he began slipping this beautiful diamond ring on my finger. And I said, is there a question that goes with that? He said, yes, will you marry me? And I said, yes. So you can look for this sometime next year. And in the meantime, I'm happy to show you my ring after our celebration today. I mean, can't you see it sparkling from there? Isn't it gorgeous? It is right. It is absolutely right. And how do we know that? Because we do our best every day to live from that center of truth, where love and wisdom are constantly guiding us in the right direction. Fun, huh? Okay, are you happy now, Karen? Tell them. Think of times you've listened to the divine wisdom within you and how beautifully you're excited too? Good. How beautifully that has worked well for you when you listen to your divine wisdom. And then think of the times you didn't. How was that working for you? we must go into our sacred space, whether we call it meditation or whatever kind of meditation we do, whether it's contemplation, whether it's just sitting. And as Jesus said, when you pray, go in the closet and close the door. Go into a sacred place by yourself. And this is the door, this mouth right here. It's time for us to listen. Meditation is about listening. And it's about opening our hearts so completely that we know we are being guided to that which is for our greatest good. We still the body. We calm the emotions. We let go of all the busy thoughts in our brain, which is a beautiful instrument through which divine mind expresses. We enter the sacred silence. You do that in your own way. You all have your ways of meditation. Or you come here at Wednesdays at noon, for an hour of our meditation together in the prayer room, meditation room. I love meditating. I love meditating with Reverend Mike. I love meditating with all of you. There's something wonderful. It's not that it brings more power, but it brings a greater opening, I think, where we're sitting together and opening our hearts to God. Surrender to that divine embrace of love and that beautiful guidance of infinite wisdom. We listen with the ear of the heart. We look with the eye of the heart. It's where we see the solutions. And it may not be in that moment, it might be later on that the solution pops into your mind, but it will come because you have asked faithfully and you expect confidently, and the answer always comes. So we want to let the flow of divine life move through the instrument of your persona. And the persona is the physical, emotional, and mental expression of life that we've developed here. But the spirit, the soul, the truth of you is always at the heart of you. We want to keep discovering it. Why would we miss that? We don't want to miss it. Let's bring it into every day that we live. Psalm 19:14, we read, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight." There's not a God that we have to please, but we want to be we want this acceptableness. Sometimes I'll make up a word because it's all I can think of at the time. Of the rightness of our own heart. We want that to be received. We want the highest and the best images and thoughts and feelings in our hearts and minds to be fulfilling that divine spiritual magnificence that is within us, that we're here to awaken within ourselves and to awaken within one another. So will you say with me, I inquire within and find my silent source.
Inquire within and find my silent source.
It reveals all I need to know and understand. I experience my highest good. I move out in faith on this journey. And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson.